pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, welcome everyone to the Village of Cornwall and Hudson Village Board Work Session for November 3rd. First up are the monthly reports. Manny could not make it tonight. I did speak to him today, and he advised me that he is caught up on most of the permit applications, except for Dave's. Well, he's taking it out on you, Dave. All right, first up, we got the treasurer's report. Some of these might not be a little early, yeah, so let's see. You know, the treasurer's one in particular, so that one will update the next for 2 weeks from now. Okay, Manny's, let's see, building permits issued 22. Inspection 19. Okay, yeah, I think if you remember last time, I think he said, or in our department head meeting, he told me that there were, was it last week, he had about 20 permit applications, so it looks like he's doing all right there. Okay, Charlie. If you have any questions for Manny, you can give it to me. I can speak to him. Moving on to the fire department. So we have to talk about, let's see.
I have a question, actually, maybe germane to other discussions. Regarding the stipend, in the reports that we get from the fire department, what on these lists counts as an incident? That would be for the definition of responding to 10% of incidents to remain active. Is it? Yeah.
It's the firematic stuff, the automatic alarms, EMS calls, structure fires, wires down, unattended cooking. It's not the meetings.
Standby.
Standby, yes.
I would think, right? Okay, thank you.
Just, you know, just for numbers wise, when if collectively all those, Charlie, what on an annual basis, what does that add up to about? You gotta give me
200.
200. Okay.
Mr. Mayor, before you move off of fire department.
Yeah.
The Board of Fire Commissioners needs a commitment from the village board on the tower ladder replacement. Not immediately, but we need some direction. Because we have members
Mm-hmm.
that have put in tremendous amount of work on getting this, and it's almost coming time to make a decision. Like we need commitment.
Well, we're just beginning our budget session, so when we get to that, I'll let you know, because it's I get where you guys want to go from, where you're coming from, but we're just beginning our budget session, and I have to consider, and the board will consider, everything holistically, not just the
Understood.
one. So
Understood.
we'll get to you. We'll get to
Okay,
you. Yeah.
and to further, in the previous administration, the members that were here, present for that, agreed to a plan for apparatus replacement. We gave you the roadmap on how to do it, and we're hoping that you'll follow that.
Yeah, well, I can't say that we will, and I can't say that we won't. Right now, we've already taken the first step in following the roadmap. We're in the process of purchasing the fire pumper. But in regards to the tower ladder, we're considering it. And again, I'm not making a decision unless I see holistically
Mhm.
what we're talking about, what our outlay is going to be over the next few years. And I will go over that after I have my budget session with each one of the department heads and we figure out how much we're going to be paying over the next few years. I will present that to the board and we'll make that decision.
And,
All right.
and in that, there's more.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like we're pushing to fill the cracks in the building, but we need to look, using your term holistically,
Yeah,
at the building, at the property. You know, at some point, maybe a feasibility study or something in the next budget cycle for someone, a professional, to come in and say, hey, this is what you have. This is where you should be or what you need. Chiefs, you can jump in and correct me if I'm wrong, but just something else to keep on your radar.
yeah. No, I
We're
agree.
not your
Yeah.
neediest department, I hope, but we are needed. We do have a lot of, stuff that's been neglected over several decades.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When I do look at it holistically, it's, you know, right there, you're talking about, it could be anywhere from, 50,000 to 250,000, the numbers that I've heard. So that's why I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, it's not just the tower ladder, it's the tower ladder and the building. And then is it, we have not Dock Hill Road, excuse me, Mountain Road and Deer Hill Road. And so it's a combination. There's a lot of things that are, moving parts to this. So duly noted, and we'll let you know as soon as we get through this budget cycle, which, if I had to guess, will be, let's put it this way, we have to adopt our budget by the beginning, but no later usually than the end of January. We usually typically get it done. Right. I mean, the budget it kicks off March 1, so the latest we've ever done it is mid-February. So we'll have a better handle on it after we figure out what outlays we have in the immediate future, because again, we just finished out the PBA contract and the CSA contract, and those are large numbers we have to take into consideration over the next few years too. So we're not dismissing you.
I didn't feel you
yeah,
were. I do have
yeah.
a final for you.
Yes.
The village board created the Board of Fire Commissioners, but never assigned us any responsibilities.
Mhm.
We've been creating them as we go. So maybe that's something you want to think about. What do you want us to do?
Yeah.
What do you expect from us? Where do we fit in? We're kind of
Yeah.
seat of our pants, making it up as we go. What do we, there is law, 10-1000 village law that says this is what a Board of Fire Commissioners does. We
Mhm.
still answer to you, but it also lays out, and I will email a copy of that to this board, of that
Okay.
law. There's a lot laid out in there. There's a lot of responsibilities that we could have if granted.
Okay.
That would help us with direction.
Okay. Absolutely. And-
Yeah, I would say, Mr. Mayor, that we're struggling to come up with goals and priorities for the department as
Yeah.
a whole. And so if you would promulgate, our official duties in such a way that we could then align them with your objectives.
Okay.
We could
Yeah,
move everybody forward.
it's funny because Joe, our counsel, Joe McKay, and I were talking about this a few weeks ago, because I can't remember what it was. Or maybe it was the fire stipend stuff. Yeah, we were like, okay, yes, that's right. We
Right,
had a
it's in
discussion
there.
because,
Right.
yes. And he was saying, he's like, yeah, we have to define what the responsibilities are. Because I automatically thought it was your responsibility. And he mentioned, he's like, well, we really haven't defined what those are. So understood. Yep. Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay.
I had a question.
Yes.
In talking about roles and responsibilities, I was thinking about the small bit of help that you, reception wise, that you requested. What exactly did that person need to be doing also?
So I understand somebody's being appointed to that position tonight.
For a part-time clerk position that will handle roughly 5 to 7 hours per week for the fire department, along with the minutes and attending the meeting.
Yeah, and
I just
there
don't
is,
remember what we said.
there is a
was a
list
job
of
description.
items
Yeah.
to give to the board and a job description. It's,
I could probably find them. If you give me a
Yeah,
minute.
you had estimated, Charlie, like 5 hours a week or something. Is that it?
it's scheduling physicals, keeping track of invoices, ordering equipment.
That's right, okay.
Tracking the active status, like
Yeah.
LoSAP for LoSAP
Yeah.
and for,
I remember.
Yeah. Okay.
The cancer insurance is due again. so-
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Okay, moving on to police department. Where we at? Chief, oh, there he is. Chief, did Chief Burns get back to you?
Yes, he did.
Okay, I didn't get to look at, I didn't see the email.
Yeah, he said, that his staff has been quite light. He was doing active enforcement in the spring and summer, but, due to manpower, he hasn't, been doing it, but he'll step up and give us whatever we need if it warrants.
Okay, all right. Yeah, you know what, let's talk offline and we can kind of coordinate between us, the town, and him, Town of Highlands. Okay. Okay, let's see. All right, any questions of the chief?
I have one which I think and you might not have this in front of you. Do you remember the total calls for service for the September report off the top of your head? I mean, in my, you have it with you, Dave? I just wonder if there was a big jump, because I remembered thinking it was low in September, which is good, obviously. I just wonder if there's a weather related thing, if people are out of town, if, if there's some reason that it's not as, anyway, we can take it offline. I'm just curious, and I can look when I get home.
I have a question regarding part-time backup crossing guard. Is this the appropriate time to ask? or-
Yeah, you can ask now. It's in other business anyway, so we can knock that out now.
Chief, just out of curiosity, do you have another COH resident in mind to take Mr. Peters? Or anybody who's expressed interest?
Yeah, I would
Okay.
just request the board's permission just to post for the.
400 bill.
position.
Okay.
I mean,
Not a
personally, I'd
huge
like to
bump.
prioritize a resident, but
Yeah, but I,
sorry to hear Mr. Peters isn't doing so, not that he's
yeah,
not doing well, but
been a
he's
big
not.
help for many,
yeah.
many years, but it's just, I guess it's just starting to catch up to him.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Okay.
Not a huge jump. Dave just said, let me know it's 400. In my head, I thought it was 300, and I was like, wait a minute.
Okay. All right, moving on to the water department. Mike, was there anything you wanted to highlight on this?
Nothing so much on the report, but I did leave off there. We did have our New York State dam inspection
Right, that's
of
right.
all the dams. They do that every 2 years. The high hazard dams get done every 2 years, and the medium low hazard dams get done every 4 years. Obviously, the Spagum Dam is the one that's got the spotlight on it in terms of needing some work done to it. But as we spoke about the other day, our engineers are in the process of designing that fix. They hope to have that design done sometime spring, summer next year. And then we can take it from there. We did apply for a grant to help offset the cost of that. And speaking to the dam inspector, it seems like the applications, they did not receive many, only about 20 or 25 throughout the state. So fingers crossed, we got a good chance this year.
Yes, that would be great.
Do they do like a report? Does he, the inspector, do they give you like a written thing? that-
Yep, he'll have a report on all of the dams, probably within a couple weeks. And just for clarification, we talked about high hazard, low hazard, medium hazard, intermediate hazard. That the hazard designation has nothing to do with the condition of the dam. It's all about the effect downstream
Right.
in the community, whether one of them was to suffer
Failure, yeah.
a failure.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, moving on to New Windsor EMS. Two grants. Wow. Still waiting for the 2 grants from the state legislature. Per billing. Okay. Okay. If you have any questions, I'll reach out to Mike. Now we're moving on to, yeah, the part-time position. We published notice for filling a part-time position, 4 hours a day. It was typically going to be from 10 to 2, right? That's the hours we wanted. Correct me if I'm wrong, it was a bit over at least 10. I remember looking at least 10 applications. And after reviewing them, speaking to Megan, yourself, and Trustee Paleota, interviewed this candidate, Kimberly Robinson. Has a good resume. A couple people at least one person reached out to me and recommended her. Her firm, a former employer who worked with her. Do you have anything else that you wanted to add, or?
No,
Okay.
her background, her experience, I think she would be a great fit for the office,
And she's a local resident.
and she is a local resident.
Okay. Okay. Very good.
good.
Great.
All right. So I will make a motion to appoint Kimberly Robinson as our part-time village clerk at an hourly rate of $20 per hour for not more than 20 hours per week. That appointment shall take effect on November 4th. May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, that takes care of that. All right. Now we have Mr. DeFalco here, who is going to present to us on the West Shore Railroad passenger service, and because he represents a public advocacy, transportation advocacy group, correct? Mr. DeFalco, so why don't you come on, if you want to come over here and then talk to us, make it easier, that's fine too. And you can tell us, give us a little overview and then tell us all about it.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor, and to the village board for having me here this evening. I'm Dan DeFalco. I am a town of Cornwall resident, a lifelong Orange County resident, and I am the founder of All Aboard Hudson Valley, a public transportation advocate organization which can be found on Instagram and Facebook. I promote better rail transit options for Orange County and the west side of the river, which severely lacks in decent public transportation options. I believe our lack of connected infrastructure presents a major challenge to the growth of our communities, and many leaders in Orange, Rockland, and Ulster counties have complained of this for decades. Recent events like the implementation of congestion pricing, the cancellation of the Newburgh Beacon Ferry has only shone more light onto this issue in our area in recent times. And this is an issue that will only continue to get worse as we go on without properly addressing this problem. The project I promote is to implement a new passenger train service on the CSX freight line, which traverses the west side of the Hudson. Such a project would serve areas in Orange, Rockland, and Ulster counties that are currently referred to as transit deserts, and would bring unprecedented economic growth, equity, and opportunity to our communities. The idea for this service has been loosely kicked around for decades. New York State did announce that they'll be launching a West of Hudson transit study sometime this year to look into future options for our area. We want to make sure that this project is at the forefront of that study. We're long overdue for it. And so the idea of this resolution that I'm coming to speak to with you about this evening is something that municipalities can be a part of, raise their hand, tell the state that this is the they want this service. This is the holistic solution to our transportation options in our area, and we want to have this study. So obviously, the first step would be asking for the new service to be implemented into a feasibility study. This is something that I approached Town Supervisor Wojciechowski with in late summer, early fall. Josh follows the page, sees the value in the project and the vision, and the value in something tangible that municipalities can come to the state and say, this is something that we'd like to have. So I met with the town board on October 14th at their work session meeting to introduce the idea of the resolution, to see if this is something that they would like to support. Since that meeting, Bill has reached out to me and invited me to come speak to the village board this evening to see, to gauge your interest in supporting the resolution. And then on top of that, following the meeting, I also networked with a fellow transit advocate in Rockland County. And through him, we were able to get the support and make contact with the village of the mayor of Haverstraw, Michael Kohut, who not only supports the project and the feasibility study, but also has already contacted Josh about it for future steps and volunteered to start taking the idea to other municipalities in Rockland County to get their support as well. So this is a long, complicated project that will probably take a long time to study and a long time to construct. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of different obstacles. But it starts with basically just requesting a feasibility study to go over all the options and what needs to be done to make this happen, if this is something even possible doing. It's a heavy price tag, but on the other side of the heavy price tag is a lot of economic opportunity here for everybody. So I'm happy to answer any questions or go over any details. Hi.
Hi, I'm Tiffany Galliano.
Hi,
Nice to
Tiffany.
meet you.
Nice to
I have
meet you
a
as
few
well.
questions.
Yeah, please.
So, if we say we want a feasibility study,
Yeah.
what is the process for that? Who pays for it? How do the wheels get turning on that?
Well, so, and I'm assuming going through New York State. I did contact the governor's office about this in around July. I got a response from Janet Ho from New York State Department of Transportation, who highlighted that they will be doing this West of Hudson Transit study. It's been a result of the congestion pricing and the growing the problem on the west side of the Hudson. So while she did mention loosely that rail will be part of the study, her response kind of leaned more heavier toward an enhanced bus system, which to me, we have buses in Orange County already. I don't know how much of adding it would really solve our transportation
So are you
issues.
telling me that New York State would pay for this study, or would we pay for this study?
New York State would,
Okay,
yes.
and then where, to follow up, where do you envision a train station would be, and where would the destination be? I mean, I see you added, West Shore history completed in 1884 for Weehawken. So where do you envision the station would be, and what would be the destination? Because we have Salisbury, Mills, Cornwall that goes to Secaucus and Hoboken.
Correct.
And the path cuts over, the path train, and then of course on the other side, but as you mentioned, we don't have a ferry anymore
Right,
to
exactly.
connect. So where would you envision?
So the line could be approached in several different ways. I think for regular commuter service, what I envision is, we'll start with the northern destinations first. I would say as far up as regular commuter service to Newburgh, Sydney, Newburgh. I also see a lot of value in doing something like weekend or seasonal service to Kingston and Catskills, just for the amount of attention that area has from tourism. The alignment even offers, if you want to take a regional approach to it, it even offers a downtown station in Albany.
So what about south of us?
South would connect to New York City through probably either two routes. You would go through New Jersey to a new connection into Secaucus, and then from Secaucus there's a connection loop called the Bergen Loop, which is a planned connection already that will connect. It's supposed to give the Port Jervis and Pascack Valley riders a one-seat ride into Penn Station.
Wow.
So basically, it takes the lower level, connects to the upper level.
It doesn't
goes into
exist
Penn.
yet, but
Doesn't exist yet, but that is something in the process. The other option, which would probably be a more complicated option, but something that was already on the table in years past, if you remember, with the when they're constructing the new Mario Cuomo Bridge, Tappan Zee Bridge, that the original design for that bridge was to have rail service go across it. Now we all know that wasn't included in the final project due to timeline designs, time constraints and everything like that. But room was left on that bridge to reestablish that connection. That's something that has been discussed in years past.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
So Dan, did you say, who did you speak to in the state? You said you, in regards to the feasibility study?
I got the response from Janet Ho, who was the head of the New York State Department of Transportation.
Okay.
Would
And-
it,
Go ahead, Dan.
does the overall project that you envision, does it require another main line? Or would it use existing freight line?
Yeah, great question. It will use probably the existing right of way of the freight line, but it's a project. So this is where one of the most complicated obstacles of it is CSX.
Right.
The river subdivision is what they call their freight line. It's one of the most vital freight lines in the Northeast. So the idea is to try and inhibit freight service as little as possible. That would include fully double tracking the line,
Gotcha.
possibly adding an extra passing siding here in strategic locations as well, but something that a feasibility study would cover
Yeah.
as to what needs to be done.
Do you have any idea what the estimate per mile is on new line right now?
As far as cost, I do not know.
Okay.
Dan, on the materials you gave us here, obviously this has been studied before,
Yeah.
right? As a feasibility, and we don't have one now. So is it that these studies, I mean, I see the conclusions, you've put findings and outcomes in here.
Yep.
That, could be good is kind of what they, strong potential for future commuter rail service, and significant barriers and so on. Do you think, what would be different this time? Like if it were included in the state's new feasibility study, what is it about it that would make it more feasible?
Yeah, great study. Great question, though. I think it's it's an updated time now. Congestion pricing is in place. The Hudson Valley is growing. It's becoming more apparent that we're having these transportation issues. It's been an ongoing debate for a long time in the county. So I think an updated study to accommodate the growing population, the congestion pricing that's already in place, and the options that are available to commuters west of the Hudson, I think is enough reason to have this revisited and restudied.
Can I ask, what does a feasibility study entail?
Sure.
I understand who pays for it, but.
Altogether, everything that can be done. So for a feasibility, you want to study things like ridership potential, which is really like the main gauge of the success of the passenger line. How much is the line going to be used? I think what makes this line very attractive for that is that it can promote two-way ridership instead of ridership just down to the city. This is a service that can pull a lot of ridership up into our communities as well, for tourism, for commuting,
How do you find those numbers?
So that would be something that needs to be probably in the feasibility study would gather. I don't know, maybe Metro North could provide that, or the state.
Probably the census gets utilized as well.
Sure, the census, yeah. Overall cost would need to be included in the feasibility study. A projection of economic growth, what revenue generated from the infrastructure that's implemented.
Community involvement, I would assume.
Community involvement, yeah. All the above, really.
So let me ask this, the superintendent of Department of Transportation, was this something that they initiated in regards to, you're advising us that they're gonna be doing a feasibility study? Is
The
that
West
right?
of Hudson Transit Study was initiated by the state as a response to congestion pricing, yes.
Okay, so when was that done?
I don't know if it's been done yet or when it's going to start, but I know that during the implementation of the pricing is when they announced they'd be doing it.
Okay, so we don't know when it's starting, and right now, do you know the scope of it? I mean, you were saying before that she said loosely included rail passenger service.
Yes.
Is she, do you have anything in regards to what the scope of this study is?
There's not a
In
lot-
writing. Is
No,
there
there's
anything
not
in
a lot,
writing?
from what I've researched, there's not a lot of detail that really gets into what they're actually going to be looking at. Just the
Yeah,
fact that they know that there's a severe lack of options here and they want to study those options. See what they can be done with it.
did she advise whether or not were there other people who reached out to her in regards to including the rail passenger service? Because it sounds like when she's saying loosely, that they're not fully on board, so to speak.
It
that,
does,
you
right?
know.
Or it sounds like they're leaning toward buses as the option. or not,
Yes.
Yeah. Because this is something that's been discussed for a while and the can has been kicked down the road several
Yeah.
times because of the complexity of the project, right?
And
There's not a lot of detail as to what exactly they're going to be studying.
no indication of when the study would be
Correct,
kicked off and,
correct.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Um, just so people know, who anybody who's watching, is one of, without, I mean, I read through here, I saw all the potential stops that are actually, you know, obviously down in Rockland County and Orangeburg and Haverstraw and a few other places. Just so people know up front, are you proposing that a rail stop be in Cornwall and Hudson?
Sure, yes, I am. I think there's a great benefit to having a rail stop in Cornwall and the Hudson. I think I mean, at this stage, it's a little early to say exactly where, but I mean, one of the locations that I envision is then at where the DPW yard is on River Road. I think is a fantastic spot for a future station. Other than that, maybe something in Donahue Park, but that's a little bit more tougher to do. There's not a lot of space for parking and things like that, so.
Okay.
That's what I would suggest would be the DPW yard.
Yeah, the DPW, I mean, there's some room over there. We own some of the property between the DPW building and Donahue Park. One section we do not own. Let me just see some here. Where's this? With respect to the local legislators, Senator Skoufis, Assemblyman Ekus, have you spoken to them? Are they on board on this?
I've spoken with Senator Skoufis roughly 2 Januaries ago. Yeah, and I think it's something he would definitely be on board with. He's been one of the strongest voices in the county for better rail transit options. You know, he knows very well the complications of working with the MTA, so you know it's a big obstacle, but definitely something that I know he would support. I know Senator Rolston in Newburgh has been supportive of the project, and as well as some of the early support we have in Rockland County.
Okay. Was there any indication that the Federal Transit Administration was on board with respect to doing the study, meaning even funding some of it? Are the feds involved at all?
No, and that's a very good question. I'm not sure how the federal trend, you know, how they would approach something like this. I think they would see the value in it. I'm not sure if they're involved in a project or aware of this project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last question. Do you know if the study's actually been funded?
No.
Is there funding there?
For which study? For the West of Transit study in New York?
Yeah.
I believe that study is funded through the state.
Okay.
Yeah, that's something they already launched that they're going to be doing. So
Okay.
yeah, they should have funding for that.
But not the feasibility study itself. They're two separate and distinct, because that's a general, bigger picture
Yeah.
as opposed to the
I don't know to what
feasibility
degree
study,
it covers. Yeah.
Focused on this particular project.
Right. I guess to clarify, that's a good question. To clarify, the West Shore study,
Right.
that is a much larger aperture, not necessarily a distinction between that and a feasibility study for the use of the West Shore as a railroad, passenger railroad. That's not included in this West Shore study.
I don't know if it is or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What the scope of that is.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. All right. Anybody else have any more questions? All right. Yes.
I reserve judgment on the feasibility of it, but I think it seems interesting to ask the state to put it in the study. Even if that just meant that even if there's a big feasibility study and they say, no way, it's too complex and it costs too much and nobody wants it on the river right there.
Exactly.
And then they add 10 trains a day on the Salisbury Mills Cornwall stop. That would be nice.
Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
that's one of the issues.
So where we're at
Just
now is
frequency.
simple to study it.
Yep.
All right. Well, you know what? We don't have to make the decision tonight in regards to this. You can take a look at the materials. If you have any more questions for Dan, we'll give you a ring.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you very much for your
you.
time.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you very much. Dan, you can stay or you can go. It's completely up to you. All right. All right. Next up, we have the EV charging parking fee waiver. Megan was contacted by our Integra, who installed our EV chargers, and they saw a picture of of our EV charging station, and then also saw the picture of the permit parking sign. And then they summarily advised us that we cannot charge someone for a parking fee if they're using the charging station.
So
So
we can, but then we lose 50% of the incentive that funded the construction.
right, so we can't do that because we don't want
We
to
don't
lose
want to.
50%. Yes.
Yeah.
So at this point,
We just have to waive it, that's all. For EV charge.
I think
cars.
what was our decision?
I think it came down to if you have a electric or hybrid vehicle parked in an EV charging spot,
Hmm.
plugged in, then you don't have to
Have a
have
sticker.
a sticker or pay a fee.
Right.
However, if you're, a hybrid vehicle, but you're parked there, but you're not plugged in, I would advocate for ticketing
Or if
them.
you're just a regular
Or a
somebody
regular,
else.
car,
a
yes.
regular vehicle, of
regular
course,
vehicle
but-
parked, then you will get a ticket.
Yeah, I think it has to be an electric capable vehicle, either hybrid or fully, and
Right.
actually plugged in.
So I think what we're talking about is getting a sign that will state that's for EV charger
Only.
parking only.
Which is
But
already
it's already
there.
on there.
Yeah.
But and well, taking away the other sign
Yeah,
that's
or
close
moving
to it,
it
moving
away,
it
yeah.
over. So it's clear that it's,
Right.
yes, that those two spaces are for charging.
The bait and switch, the number of months that Central Hudson was there and Integra was there and everybody else was there. Nobody mentioned.
Yeah,
You can't charge.
How much is this? Is it? Okay.
Yeah, and that also I don't think there's no clawback after, I forget exactly how long, but there's a period of time after which it reverts to us, is my
Okay.
understanding about the, that was my understanding about, at first you have to have the EV parking only signage, but you can actually take that away after a while if you decide you need to.
got
So
it.
that's good.
All right, so we'll have Dave move the sign. Is there anything else that they were looking, what in particular, Megan, did they tell you what?
They're looking for something in writing, so we'll just have to generate a
Okay.
letter.
All right, I will do that. All right. Moving on to the next one, the fire department stipend. I spoke to Joe. I know he gave you the notice. He sent you over the notice of publication.
Mhm.
So that's going out tomorrow or
Will be
Wednesday.
Published on Thursday.
Okay, for passage of the law in, actually the public hearing, excuse me, in 2 weeks. Okay. And we already, I know there were a few questions flying to Charlie and to Rick. Were there any other questions in regards to that? We were talking about the 10% and the calls. Is everybody good with that?
Clear.
Okay, all right. Thank you, gentlemen. Right, let's see. Riverfront trees, okay. Angelo Shambari, he graciously donated his time to take a look at our willow trees. Just did it at the end of last week. I did not have an opportunity to talk to him. He wanted to give me his assessment. At this point, if you remember, about 2 months ago, we had a large limb came down off of one of the willow trees on the waterfront, and then it happened a second time. We were going to engage a tree service to do some tree trimmings because we didn't want to get rid of the willow trees. We wanted to pare them back, and then have a plan to plant new willow trees. Out of the 4 that are down there, the youngest one is doing pretty well, and it grew pretty quickly. That's the one that's the closest to the yacht club. So what I'll do is I'll give you an update after I talk to Angelo, who again didn't charge us any charge for what he did. So I'll give you an update in 2 weeks, and then we can decide from there. I'm hoping that he's not going to tell us that we're going to need to take all of them down. Maybe we do it in stages, or we shall see. Because it may end up being, we take one down and we pare the other ones back, we replace it, that sort of thing. So I just didn't want us to spend the money on the tree service without Angelo giving us his assessment. All right, moving on to the Donahue Farm roof, okay? As you know, Mary has come before us a couple times asking us for, to repair her roof. Manny has looked at it and Dave has looked at the roof. It's not leaking, and Mary has advised me of that, and, that the portion that she's concerned about is not leaking. Let's see, we did get some estimates in regards to a metal roof. I'm not gonna say the numbers, and a shingle roof. The delta is pretty wide. We can't use New York Forward funds to replace that roof. So, but in running into Mary, she asked me again, she said, can we at least address the portion that she's concerned about? And I advised Mary that it's been looked at by two different people, and what I'd rather do is I'd rather put it in the budget, the upcoming budget, because both assessment by Manny and by Dave Halverson, the roof is fine for now. Our biggest concern is if it does leak in this one portion. I told her, I said, look, I will absolutely bring it up to the board tonight. So we had a discussion, an executive session. If anybody would like to express where you want to go with this, go ahead.
My understanding is that if we do cover the roof in that area prematurely, it will create some kind of maybe dry rot or some sort of mold or something that will make it worse than it was to begin with. And that we should probably, the opinion is that we should wait until it's actually needed
Yes.
to fix it.
Anybody else?
I agree.
I just think as long as we're responsive in the
Yes.
event of any staining on the ceiling or anything that happens, that we
Yeah.
can get out there
Yes.
and take
Yeah.
action quickly.
So,
We should absolutely.
so what we'll do,
But
and
otherwise-
just so people understand, is we don't have, if in fact a leak happened, we don't have our DPW workers don't go out on the roof and put the tarp up. We engage a local contractor to do the same. So what we'll do, I'll ensure, Mary, that one, we'll put it in the budget for next year. And two, that if there is evidence of the leaking, she advises us right away. We do have a local contractor who's on the county list, on the state list, and we can engage them for at least to address that a leak that potentially comes up. Is everybody on board with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good?
Makes
Okay,
sense.
I will advise her of the same. Thank you. All right, I threw the Seneca Jeep on here because that happened, was it last week or 2 weeks ago? I can't remember.
Last week.
Last week, yeah. So it was great. It was,
Really cool.
in talking and speaking to the Cornwall Yacht Club and the Seneca Chief personnel, there was like at least 200, 250 people came on board who visited. It was beautiful. I couldn't believe how long it took them, 4.5 years for the carpenters to put it together. They gave a great tour. I just wanted to say thank you to the Cornwall Yacht Club, who allowed them to moor the boat there. And I think it was just a wonderful event, and hopefully a lot of people had the opportunity to.
I have
Yes.
to say that I was lucky enough to go for a ride on it for hours and hours from Marlborough down to Cornwall, and it was fantastic. Those people were on that boat for 33
Mhm.
days at that point.
Wow.
33 days. They came all the way down
From
the river.
starting in
From
Buffalo, right?
They started in
Yeah.
Buffalo, yeah, and they just make all these stops. And there was 2 more left until the city stop. But it was fantastic, and they really took this on as their mission
All right.
to reconstruct this boat.
I saw that they then just tugged it straight back up.
did.
They spent 33 days coming down.
Yeah, and then yes, no more stops on the way
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
And it was really interesting to watch that John boat is, I think, what they call it. It's like a smaller boat. So there's the tugboat that tugs the Seneca,
Mm.
and then that Johnny boat, I believe it's called, that helps them park it and pull it back out. because it needs pushing, on other sides, because
okay.
it has no
Yeah,
engine or no
Yeah.
Yeah,
propelling agent on there.
yeah.
It's very neat.
No,
It was beautifully made. I mean, it was
absolutely
gorgeously made.
stunning. Yeah, absolutely.
I really appreciated that the yacht club opened up to the
Oh,
public there
yeah.
so people could come in. It was a really nice
They were
setting for it, and
they were very
Yeah, it
very
was really
gracious about the whole thing. So, okay. Let's see. The IMA water sales. We're gonna advise last week. Mike, you can speak this because we went over this at our last work session. We Joe had drafted an IMA for a general IMA for water sales. This one to be used with Blooming Grove because they purchased water from us before. Everything was done. The question came up was why were we charging them $22 per 1,000 gallons rather than the municipal rate? And Mike, you can explain why.
Basically, the municipal rate was established to charge towards taxing authorities. Blooming Grove does not charge property taxes on our properties. So we consider them a wholesale purchaser, just like we would if New York State, when they purchase water from us for construction projects, or TAM Industries, we charge them the wholesale rate.
And it's not, we're not wedded to the, right now it's 22, but obviously depending upon the municipality, we can make it more. So what I'm gonna do is I'll advise Joe to send it over to Blooming Grove to have their council look at it, and then hopefully we can get this squared away in 2 weeks. All right. Let's see. And the last thing is the budget calendar. Megan just sent out the worksheets to the department heads, and they're gonna come back with their worksheets. And actually, we have the budget calendar. Oh, the crossing guard, I forgot about that, Dave. I skipped over that. Where was that? That's fine. You had it on here, Megan. Here we go. Okay, right. So she sent it out to the department heads, and then they'll submit it by Monday the 24th. Typically, they're earlier than that. And then Megan and I will meet with each of the department heads to go over their budgets, and then we'll come up with a draft budget in the beginning of December. All right, and then we're off to the races. Yes.
That's the crossing
The
guard.
crossing guard,
Yeah.
right. All right, the last one on here is the chief has asked for a crossing guard. And Chief, this is Tiffany already brought it up, and this is to replace Mr. Peters because he's not.
Yeah, this would be a per diem crossing guard, so when either Mr. Grubel or Mrs. Hogan aren't available, this person would be contacted to fill in.
Okay. Do you want us to do a publication for this, or a notice? Or are you reaching out to people who
At
are?
the very bare minimum, I can put something on local Facebook media, either our Facebook and Living in Cornwall, try to get somebody local.
Okay, perfect. Sounds reasonable. Has anybody expressed any interest prior to?
James Kane.
Yeah. Like I need another job.
He's not
Yeah.
qualified. He's not qualified.
Yeah, I'm not qualified. Yeah. All right. Okay. Thank you very much.
do we have to pass a resolution or anything to allow for posting, or say that we're gonna cover it? I mean, I don't.
I think in order to
just need-
hire him, yeah, if you're just gonna put it on
Yeah.
on that Facebook, yeah.
Seek it.
Yeah, I'll try those efforts first. Like I said, try to get somebody local.
All right. And another thing I know, Chief purchased a decibel meter. Did that come in yet, Chief?
No, it's supposed to come tomorrow.
Okay, all right, so we'll be testing that out. And okay, moving on to, for your information, let's see, we have the election tomorrow, remember, from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. tomorrow here at Village Hall. November 11th, it's Veterans Day. The offices are closed and the veterans ceremony is at 11 o'clock on the 11th. And let's see, the 13th, you have the zoning board meeting, 17th, our village board meeting, the 18th planning board meeting, and then we're closed on the 27th and 28th for Thanksgiving. And then our tree lighting is at 6 PM on the 29th. I can't believe we're close. And the other thing is, we picked out, December 12th will be the village's holiday party. We're having it at Storm King Lounge and Fair, and they'll have the details for you in 2 weeks. Any alibis? No? All right.
Can I just add one
Yes.
quick thing for the
Yes.
village tree lighting? So we'll also be working with Cornwall and Hudson Special Events and the Cornwall Youth Committee and the Fire Department Ladies Auxiliary with hot chocolate. So there will be some events taking place along with the tree lighting, so it's not to be missed.
Okay, other events. All right, remind me of that so we can say that again in 2 weeks
Mhm.
to go with it. All right. All right, I will make a motion to adjourn. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay.
I want to thank you for coming. Less than an hour. Here. It's raining here.
Yes.
How about that?
Okay.